You've been summoned, or should I say crafted. You didn't ask to be here, but the villagers had plans for you. They had spare iron laying around and decided that they needed some form of protection from the outside world. They needed you to protect them at all costs, even if it meant to sacrifice yourself for the greater good of the village. You're like a dad forced to take care of a dozen newborns in the middle of the night, except those newborns never grow up, never thank you, and somehow manage to cause even more trouble than they're worth. It's an excruciating job, but you take pride in it. After all, keeping the defenseless safe feels like a noble job. Your eyes glow red, not because you're scary, but because you haven't had a single night's rest. Ever. You're constantly on high alert, scanning for potential threats. Zombies groaning in the distance, you're already on the move. A pillager aiming his crossbow at the farmer, you're stepping in front of that arrow like a metal bodyguard. Sure, they don't thank you for your job, but at least you know you're making a difference. And then there are the baby villagers, the one bright spot in your otherwise miserable existence. You spend time with them, playing little games, watching them run around carefree, knowing that you're their guardian angel. Their innocence is what keeps you going, what makes the endless grind worth it. You tell yourself, I'm doing this for them. They deserve a future. That bond, the joy, is the only thing holding you together. But that's where the good things end, because as much as you give to these villagers, they give you nothing in return. No respect, no gratitude. Heck, they barely acknowledge your existence. To them, you're not a hero. You're just a tool, a silent, tireless servant who's only there to keep them safe. They treat you as their slave, and despite you being the sole protector of the village, they don't respect you at all. When you get damaged, they don't care enough to repair you back up, because keeping you alive requires more of an effort than just sourcing another Iron Golem once you inevitably perish. And then there's the worst indignity of all, getting captured by pillagers. They drag you off, tie you up, and parade you around like a trophy. And do the villagers, the same villagers you wouldn't spare your life for, make any effort to rescue you? Of course not. They don't even acknowledge your absence. You are left to rot in some outpost, while they go about their day like nothing ever happened. They're all way too busy counting their emeralds to worry about their metal servant who happened to get abducted and will probably have to endure immense mental and physical suffering. You gave them everything you had to offer, your strength, your vigilance, your very existence, and yet, the moment you're no longer useful, they abandon you. To them, you were never a protector, never a guardian, you are merely a shield, something to stand between them and danger. Nothing more, just a means to an end. And then there's the issue of being the primal target for most players, or even worse, speedrunners. You better hope no speedrunner visits your village, otherwise you're bound to get outsmarted and ultimately eliminated. Building up 3 blocks is enough to make you crumble in a matter of seconds. And what do the villagers do? They will stand by your side and watch as a random speedrunner swoops by and kills you for a couple of iron you drop. And why wouldn't they? They can just make another one of you the second you're gone. Being an Iron Golem isn't noble, it isn't heroic, it's lonely, unappreciated and cruel. You were built to protect and to serve up until your very last breath. But despite your deep battle scars you got from protecting an entire village, nobody ever cares enough to stop by and ask whether you are doing fine.